In this lecture, we'll go over something called the object origin, which is just a point in 3D space used as a reference for location, rotation, and scale. For example, when we add in a new object, like a UV sphere, in the middle of the object right there, you'll notice this orange dot. This point is the object's origin, and this will always be centered over the 3D cursor when we add new objects in. And you can see when I do things like scale or rotate, these transformations are happening around this origin point, and that's one of the core functions of this point. And this point also determines the object's exact location. So right now you can see it's in the middle of all these axes, it's in the middle of the Blender world, and we can confirm its location by pressing the N key for the right side toolbar, and you can see that the location is 0 on every axis. And that's pretty much all there is to this little dot. It's very simple but very important, and it's used as a reference for many things, including modifiers and even for creating shaders. And we'll get into all of that as the course goes on. Right now though, let's go over some ways that we can change the origin's position, because there are circumstances where this can come in handy. So let me first get rid of that toolbar on the right side, and let's say we have all of our geometry all the way over here. So our origin point's over here and our geometry's over here. So when we're in object mode and we press R to rotate this, you can see it's going to be rotating around the origin point, which is not centered on the sphere. Let's say we wanted to center that point in the middle of the sphere again. There's a couple ways we can do this. Let's right click on the object, and we have this set origin menu right here. So we can choose geometry to origin, which will actually move the geometry so that the origin point is centered in the middle of it. And now when we press R to rotate, you can see it's rotating around the center of the object again. And let me undo that. We can also right click, and from the set origin menu select origin to geometry. That will move the origin point from here to the center of the geometry over here, so we don't actually move the mesh. Now if we right click and go to origin to 3D cursor, wherever the 3D cursor is where the origin point ends up. Now lastly, we have these two mass options down here. Now the mass options can be useful for animation purposes. Like think of a planet or an asteroid spinning through space. It's going to rotate around its center of mass. So that's what this option helps you find, and you can find this by either the object's surface area or the object's volume. So for example, if we had more of an oblong sphere like this, and let's say one side of it was bigger like this. Looks more like a peanut than an asteroid, but we're going to go with it. If we right click and choose origin to geometry, it will center the origin point based on all the different vertices of the geometry. So let me place the cursor there to mark where the origin point is. Now when I press R to rotate this, you can see that the larger end is more on the outside. So it's not spinning based on the center of the mass. But if we right click and choose set origin to center of mass volume, it moves it more towards the center of volume. And now when we rotate it, you can see things are more balanced based on the mass. So that's what those options help you find. Now one last note about origin visibility. When we have multiple objects, you can see that object origin points aren't always visible. They're only going to be visible when the object is selected. If you wanted those points to always be visible even when it's not selected, we can go up into the viewport overlays options here and check off origins all. Now you can see the origin points are always visible even when the object isn't selected. And that's actually going to do it for this lecture then, so I'll see you in the next one.